We're talking about the free will offering, and hopefully you saw building relationships. This is building relationships too. And as a reminder, this is for my grandkids, my brothers and sisters in Kenya, and if this is a blessing to you, then so be it, and God bless you. Thanks for walking with me on this journey from Genesis to Revelation. And we're in the depths of a microcosm of the journey itself from Genesis to Revelation. Now, the journey from Genesis to Revelation is a figurative journey because Genesis wasn't necessarily the first book. It is said that Job is the first book. But I think by the time we get to Job, we'll be well equipped to deal with the romantic languages of Job and Psalm and Proverbs and Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon and that sort of thing. But right now, we're just dealing with the basics, the laws, the statutes, the precepts, where most people think that these are putting limitations on our lives, when in truth, it's showing us how to be free from the constructs of Egyptian and Canaanite type thinking. It's the whole idea that there would be a period of fasting and prayer in the desert experience, walking with an elder and his brother, who is the high priest. It's a time of training so that when we do get to that place of prosperity, that we treat it correctly and we have the right mindset going in. To my grandchildren and my brothers and sisters in Kenya, I've made a lot of mistakes, and it's from that position that I talk to you. I don't want you to do what I've done. In this particular part of the scriptures in Leviticus chapter 22, God is clearly expressing his desire for all the different tribes to come together, which was something that had happened before, where Moses was giving the command to go and get them out of Egypt because the people of Israel were being destroyed, their belief system. Because when Jacob originally came in after Joseph, his son, had become governor within the Egyptian political system, Jacob had learned certain things of how to honor God. And although he had a time with his sons, who were not perfect at all, with Judas sleeping with his daughter-in-law, making promises that he couldn't keep, having a child from his daughter-in-law while she was playing the harlot, to throwing Joseph in the pit. We're not perfect people. You know, the whole relationship between Jacob and Esau, where, you know, and their relationship with their mother, you know, and bringing all that together to where, you know, Jacob had to separate himself from his brother, and although his brother still prospered, he had to learn his lessons. This is depicted also in the New Testament between the two brothers and that sort of thing, when Jesus is telling the story of two different brothers there. And a different light. We are a work in progress. But the overall goal is to build relationships with people who are really interested in living according to this set of standards. I use the word standards because everyone does not want to live by these standards, but I think they need to stop acting like they do. It will not be good for them. It is deceptive. And you know where we can go with that. So we want to have the right heart towards God by having the right heart towards the people. Can't be faked. It's impossible. If you understand God, the very nature, the very even the word is very limiting. I remember watching a movie. You guys know the movie Matrix, where Neo finally came into who he was and he was able to flex and see everything around him flex along with him. That's God. Everything flexes with one word coming out of your mouth, one action, one thought. Things flex. With such an awesome power given to us, I think it's important that we understand how to wield that power. And we wield that power by watching how we flex. Because it's never about the ritual itself, it's about the heart behind the ritual. And that's what we're talking about right now in Leviticus chapter 22. The heart behind the ritual. Rereading chapter 22, verse 18 into 19, then we'll go back into 20, and our text will be verse 21. Speak unto Aaron and his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, whatsoever of the house of Israel, whatsoever of the house of Israel. By the way, the reason why I read it very slowly is I'm getting rid of all the italicized words that were added. If I agree, sometimes I'll read one, I'll let you know, but I'm getting rid of all the italicized words. Whatsoever of the house of Israel or of the strangers in Israel that will offer his oblation for all his vows and for all his free will offerings which they will offer unto the Lord for a burnt offering. Ye shall offer at your own will a male without blemish of the beefs, of the sheep, of the goats. Whatsoever hath a blemish shall ye not offer, for it shall not be acceptable for you. And we talked about that in the last video. If you didn't watch the last video, please do. I think verse 20 is very powerful. Powerful, and what I mean by powerful is it's transitional in that if you allow your soul to make a change there, I believe it can change the direction of the decision-making process that you make and how you treat people. It's transformative. It's transformative for me. I hope it won't be as costly for you as it has been for me. As it is for me, to be quite frank with you. But it's necessary, in my opinion. Verse 21, and whosoever offers a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord to accomplish vow, or a freewill offering in beeves or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. And I think we're going to leave chapter 22 from there and go off into the festivals, which I'm really looking forward to. If you followed along and listened to Building Relationships, that video, you understand that my heart, or the heart behind this, is to demonstrate that the communication of Aaron, his sons, which is his legacy, and the children of Israel, because these are the people that this is directed to. It's not directed to Moses. It's directed to Aaron, his sons, and the children of Israel. Now I would love to go off into a spiritual conversation of what that means, because it is beautiful, but it will bring me to tears and it will take me off of the purpose, because I love the feeling. But it would take me off the purpose of going from Genesis to Revelation and then sharing with you the journey from Egypt to Canaan. It is an amazing picture, though. The very relationship that Moses is sharing through Aaron and his sons and the children of Israel is the very thing that God is sharing with us, which is to complete this relationship through a heart change. And it has to be free will. If it's not free will, it's not love. Love is the word that we use in the New Testament. Peace offering and free will are the words that we use in the Old Testament. Love is sacrificial. That's what the beef is. The beef is the sacrifice. The sheep is the sacrifice. It's not about the religious act of giving so that you can say, I gave. It's not the purpose of the tabernacle of the congregation. Today we call it a mosque, a temple, a church. We kind of misuse the word church there, because the church actually is the nation itself, not the country or the physical place. And again, we talked about the place as well. And I think we're going to talk about the place more often. So this is all about the nation of Israel. This is all about now the nation has multiple, and I'm trying to drill this home, it has multiple tribes. It's not my word. Moses went in to grab multiple tribes out, all of the same father. Sometimes in Christianity, we think we're the only children, as though the Jewish community doesn't exist, as though the Muslim community doesn't exist. They all exist. And they all came out of these tribes, closer to 14 of them. But they all came out of these tribes. Because the pebble has already hit the pond and the waves are large, you forgot about the pebble that dropped in the pond. So the waves start crashing into each other, trying to claim supremacy. And then you wonder why if it's not done by demonstration with a clear heart, then it's what is it? If we're not going back to what we're saying, again, I don't want to go too far out there. So again, the peace offering the heart that offers without blemish, the free will aspect of this relationship between God and his people through his surrogates of Aaron and his sons, between the children of Israel, without the actual actions themselves, then there's no demonstration of the love that you say you have. How can it be love? Without the peace offering, without it being free-willed, how can it be love? Because that's what we're talking about here. And without the actions going in and, back, I donate some time, not enough time. I like to donate more time with an organization called 100 Black Men of Long Beach. And now this is the year 2023. This is December, so we're going into 2024. But I've been with the organization since 2018. And some of the men there that I've met who have mentored me just through their actions, and I hope he doesn't mind, but I just have to give, as an example, Dr. Lance Robert has been amazing to me. And I've seen not only his work with the youth, which is so inspirational because he puts his heart out there, and what he's demonstrated to his son has created a brilliant son, along with it strengthening his relationship with his own church, his wife, and then the transformation I just see in his own life. In the humility and all that, and I can count how many times I actually spend with him, but he just every once in a while calls and allows me to impart, and then he imparts into me. An amazing man. Love it. Great example. Because of the simplicity of that, the free will nature of that relationship, it gives me even more confidence to grow. He is one of my jetnas, as one of my brothers say, one of my mentors. Not because he gets on the phone and gives me 10 steps to follow to get here or there. Because he's supportive in his free will offering without blemish. Keep in mind, we're not in an agricultural society, so it all has to be figurative now, because we're not in an agricultural society for the people in America. For you in Kenya and in Ghana, you may understand, but for the most part, it's all figurative, meaning you can use it as an example, but you have to bring it into your existence today and establish what it really means. Ye shall offer at your own will a male without blemish of the beasts, of the sheep, of the goats. Whatsoever hath a blemish, don't offer it, because your heart's not in it. It's not going to be good for you or acceptable for you. It's not acceptable for you. You can spend all day long talking about the person you're giving the offering to as though you own it. It will be the wrong. It's not yours. These, and we talked about it up to this, which is so beautiful. This has nothing to do with Aaron and his sons. This is all of our relationships. If you're paying attention to the mediators, you're missing it. how you treat and how you make your offering, the heart condition of your heart, the condition of your heart as you're interacting with these relationships is what it's all about. It's not the mediator. It's not the ambassador. We think we own things. We do not own things. The bulls aren't yours. The sheep aren't yours. The turtle doves aren't yours. You know, and just because you have more bulls and cows than somebody else has doesn't make it any better or worse for you. Some of us are called to be. Because the nation, it's all about the nation. Verse 21, and whosoever offers a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord to accomplish vow. What's the purpose of the peace offering? To accomplish vow. Or free will offering. And what's a free will offering? In beefs, sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish. He talks about that blemish a lot, doesn't he? Sometimes I talk to people that feel like they're doing me a favor. And it's not just one person, by the way, just in case someone's listening to this. It's not just one person. I'm talking about a lot of people. It is the nature of humanity that when we think we have the upper hand, that we're doing something, doing someone else a favor. The Bible says when you lend to people, you lend to God. It's not about these things. It's about getting rid of the flesh part of our self and allowing God to have his way through our lives, and through our example, the strangers will want to follow us and be a part of the kingdom of God, which will usher them into the kingdom of heaven. It's amazing.